get a lot of people, preferably my group, specifically my group, asking me, what do you have with these old dinky tires? Why you still got these on there for? Well, if you guys don't know, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this car. So, this car, for my OG subscribers, already know about this car. I've had this car for about a while, but I want to say 2-3 years now. It's gone through a motor. It's gone through an intensive upgrading work. It had an old Mephi. Got rid of the Mephi. I just want to make this quick. I don't waste too much time. But got rid of the Mephi. Went with the Terminator. Went with the new dash. Went with the Switch Pro. Got rid of all the gauges. Went with the digital screen. Radio. Went with a transmission, a sequential. Blew up the LS7. Went with an LSX 454. Now might go with an back to an LS7 with a blower. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. With some Frankie heads on there, Frankenstein. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about, well, I'm thinking and debating on upgrading wheels and tires. So if you guys know Nick, old Genesis, he got a car with some massive 38s on it, that BFD car. This is what he was running until Nick is waiting for his car. So the car he bought had these massive 38s, Dominator Extreme. I've never heard of these. I've only heard of STU. Well, because that's what I thought every buggy in the world runs, STU tires. So I told Nick, you know what? Give me those tires. I want to try, guys. I've had some 36s, the STU, the Sand Blasters. I've had these for a while, and they've sort of just been sitting. I have not used them because I'm like, you know what? I don't want to go this big of a tire. Well, now the time has come, and I want to go bigger tire. I want to try them out. Let me know your thoughts. So this is LSX 454 with a Weddle S4. It is not an S4D. It is just an S4. Brand new by McDowell. It's supposedly a beefy tranny. I don't know. I've kept these 33s forever. I like the 33s. They're small. You know, it picks up quick. But why not? Let's try something new. So I've now got, and oh, why I went 36s instead of 35.5s. One reason, well, because I had them already. I didn't have to buy any paddles. But number two, I guess the 35.5, and I called STU and got a whole, did a whole little education thing for you guys on here. So a 35.5 has a few differences. Number one, it has an extra cup. These are 18 cups. 35.5s are 19 cups. Number two, this is a Sand Blaster. The 35.5 is a Sand Master. He's saying the cup is very aggressive, very big. It's a tire that he's saying a 35.5. They recommend a 35.5 being on a car with a minimum over 1,000 wheel. Well, even when I put the blower on this thing, maybe I'll be 1,000 wheel. As you guys know, and before you guys are wondering, you're probably like, wait a minute, you got twin turbos. I do. I have twin turbos right over here. I actually got 4 sets because I was debating on twin turboing the car. We got some Garretts in here, and then these are, I know the box is HPT, but these are some massive Garretts, like really, really big Garretts that I think there's just gonna be way too much turbo lag. So I don't know. I've driven both cars. I personally like the blown car because it's instant. The twin turbos are nice. It looks good. It sounds good. But I don't know. Again, the blown car that I drove was an amazing. The get up and go on it was like, dang. You know, there was no turbo lag. And I don't really drag race this thing. I mainly do duning. This is a dune car, as you guys know. Yeah, you know, sometimes we'll go down the drags and stuff, but it's mainly a duning car. So I'm like, I'm kind of switching back and forth. So let me know your thoughts on that too, twin turbo or blower. Not for racing, guys. Like I was saying, 35.5, he said you want to have 1,000 minimum wheel. He says if you put a 35.5 on a car, you know, that's only got, you know, call it the 6-7 horsepower, 100 horsepower range, 800 horsepower. He says the tire is going to be too much, and he recommends if you got a 35.5, you should have minimum like the S4D, S5D, or an Albans, because it is in a very, very aggressive tire. He said it is not recommended for, you know, a car that is this slow, I guess. You know, he wants some serious horsepower. So let me know your thoughts. I'm going to put these 36s on. He says the 36s are not as aggressive. The Cup is more forgiving. He said the 36s are designed for like a 500 to 800 wheel horsepower car. I said, all right, so if I can do it now and do it with the blower. My worry is the transmission, you know, the ring gear on these things. Obviously, the ring gear is not as big like an S4D or S5D or an Albans transmission, according to Weddle and our buddy Dave McDowell over here that we deal with. So I don't know. I'm gonna try these. I'm just curious to see how, but I got to put them together. So I only got one together. I just popped them off. I'm gonna put them back on. And if you guys are wondering how I do this, so I put them all on, and then I flip it over, and I stand on the back of the rim, and I jump on it, and then the air seals it up, and I'll show you how to do it. But also on these, what I like to do too, I've always done it this way. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I've always put a little silicone just to fill in the imperfections of the tire and the beadlock. It's always worked good for me. I've always been happy with it. I mean, you can't even tell. You know, sometimes if you look, yeah, like, see, you can see right there, you know, a little bit. So if you want, you can take a propel, but when you go doing it, all comes off. So according also to Douglas, these should be torqued from anywhere between 15 to 25 pounds. I always meet in the middle, go to 20. I usually see how it feels, obviously, but I mean, these are not that big, these 12 points. So I go with 20 pounds. I feel like it's comfortable. I've never had any of them come loose on me. But other than that, let's get started on this thing, and we'll get them torqued down, and I'll show you guys once they're on the car what it actually looks like with these on the car. I'll show you do a little before, after, and I'll measure the ride height for you guys. All right, so now that the bead lock is on, this is what I'll tell you guys. So see this gap? Obviously, if you hit the air, well, nothing's coming out, or everything's coming out except air. All right, so now give it a little, and then sometimes you can get lucky where no air is coming out. I think we're good. I think we got tire movement here. Yeah, I think we got it, folks. So now you get off of it. Yep, there we go. And what I do is I just spray a little WD-40, so it doesn't just like bang on you. Sometimes it still does, but oh, there we go. See right there? Oh, that side's probably gonna give you that nice pop sound. There you go, just like that. And what are we at? 9 pounds. So I just put them at 20 to let everything dry. Now the silicone that I put in it. Now also remember one thing, guys, when you put paddles on, so I know like a regular car, you know, you want the DOT codes, which is, hold on, what is it, 13, which is right here, usually always facing outside. Well, with a paddle, if you do both DOT codes on the outside, well, that's not going to work because of the cup. If you still don't understand, I will show you. So this one right here, well, you can see is obviously going to go on the driver's side. Now, if I were to mount this the same way with the dot code, or is it outside of the tire, well, then obviously the cup would be like this. And that, well, how you're looking at it would work, but if the other side of the rim was on this side, obviously it would not work. So this is going to be the passenger, and this is going to be the driver. The rears, if you want to call it the hardest, you can, because, well, these are the sides where you got to make sure you pay attention when mounting them, because, well, you'll be backwards. Fronts, I mean, really, you can just look at them and see there's really this side, which you don't want on the outside. I would put this side right here on the outside, but you can't really mess that up because, well, once you put the rim on, they're both going to be on the outside. So that one's easy because it doesn't matter which way it goes. If you still don't understand, well, you'll see when I put these on. Now that the backs are complete, we're gonna start the fronts over here. Now, the fronts are a little difficult because the rim is so skinny. Those you can just throw them right on, put the bead-locks on, and that's it. These, well, you can't. When you do that, see, it kind of just does that, and that comes out of there. So I use this handy dandy, not a tire tool. And what I do is I'll stand on one side, pick the side right here, so that side is in. So this is what you gotta do, guys, when you're not a, oops, see, and sometimes it falls like that, and you gotta go around the other way. So we don't have a tire machine. If there's a better way, should let me know, anybody out there. So I stick this right in here like this, and then I'll put my foot here, and sometimes that's a little too far to start with this side, but sometimes you can get it to fall in. Let me hold the camera, and then push like that. Oh, it's gonna be hard. Put the camera here. Let me know if you guys, I don't know if you guys can see that, but let me just keep doing this right over here. Obviously, you got some big, expensive rims. I don't recommend doing this if you got some nice, wheels. But these are all beat up a little bit right now. So, if I like this setup, I will get me some nice, wheels. Oh, there we go, and they'll fall just like that. It's not very hard. You just got to get that last little part in there, just like that, and then wipe it, clean it. I put my little silicone on there, and then that's it. We're gonna put them on. We're gonna pull the car out, and we're gonna see what she looks like. I'll show you guys still a before and after. What I want to do, I want to take a few measurements. So obviously this is how the car sits, just like this. Now it's obviously gonna get taller, so let's just see. Let's take a little measurement here from the front, and let's see, we got, we're gonna call that, it's called 61, yeah, call it 61 and a half right there. Do the back, 63. Now 61, 63. Let's see the width, that's also going to change. So let's put this tape measure. So we're gonna go right about there. Okay, so this car, let's get it straight. Okay, so yep, 86. So I know the rear is 86. I know the front is 88. Don't have to measure because, well, I already knew this. So 86, 88, 62, 63. Now let's put the bigger wheels on and see what changes with height, and we'll go from there. Now before I put it on, look at the size comparison. That's the big difference. It's not on, it's just sitting on the floor. It's just leaning on it, see? So it's not even on. So the size comparison it's pretty big. I mean, it's a pretty big tire right there. But to see what happens, taller, wider. Oh, here we go. Hopefully it fits too. A lot of times there's specific back spacing on wheels, so you're not rubbing calipers and stuff, so you gotta watch for that. But I guess let's see what happens. So now that both of them are on, what I would do is spin them, make sure they're spinning freely. You don't hear no grinding, nothing's in the way. See that? Let's check the other side over here, because I've seen people, well, you start putting a different rim, changing the offset, and it's not good. Yeah, we're good to go. I like it. All right, let's start the front. Okay, so right off the bat, well, you can tell there is a huge difference. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but there's a big difference. The biggest thing, first thing I noticed was ground clearance. The ground clearance is, wow, like that's a huge difference from these 33s to 36s. That's impressive. What 3 inches can do for you, And so let's see now. Also, if you guys remember, the front was always wider than the rear. So if you guys remember, the size. I think I said 86, I believe, was in the rear. This is probably, if I had to guess, it's probably going to be close to that 94 range now, due to the offset of this wheel. You can tell by the lip, this is a much bigger offset. There's not going to be much difference. It's probably going to be the same exact thing, but let's measure first the height. So I think we said 62 with the height. So it should be 60. Oh, so we got 63. I don't know if you got here. Let me turn the light off. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. So it was, what I say, 61 and a half, or some call it 61. So we're at 60, call it 63. This tape measure's all crooked on. Yeah, call it 63 and a half, which makes sense. But we gained, you know, 2 inches on there, because I think that 35, when I measured, was a little bigger than a 35. So I don't expect a big difference up there. Now up here we are 60, oh, same thing, 64, 64 and a half. So call it, we gained, you know, another 2-3 inches, clearly, which makes perfectly good sense. But now the key thing is, well, let's see how wide this thing got now. So let's put the tape measure back here, stand by. All right, let's get this here. And what I tell you guys, it's probably going to be like 94. Let's see, because this is not a very wide car. That's why I really like this car, because it fit in an Attitude toy hauler. Like my measuring skills, you take your hand, guys, and if you, so that's pretty close right there. So it looks like we are at 90. What is that? 92. That's not bad. So I was gonna say 94-ish. So 92. So, which is still good, because, well, if you got a trailer that's 102 wide, you're not gonna have a problem. So we went from, what did I say, 82, 83 to 92. So we've gained almost 10 inches, if not 10 inches. So that's impressive. We'll see how it does in the rear. Now the front, well, the front should be very, very, very similar, if not the same. Like I said, 80, what did I tell you, is 86, I think the front was. Let's see what that front is now. Put this back over here. Do my measuring, just like that. All right, and we are at, add a little bit there. We're at 80, yeah, 87. So yeah, I gained 1 inch, which that's cool, because it will still go right between the wheel wells of the stacker, because the wheel wells I've got, I want to say it was 90 inches. Yeah, 90 inches between the wheel wells. So the front will still go right through. The back, with those, the back used to go all the way through. So with the back being 94, this car is not going to go all the way up through now, which is no big deal. You know, I can still just keep it, you know, down below, or put it upstairs. Doesn't really matter. But this is it, girls. This is it. Let me know. Comment down below. I'm curious to know your thoughts on this thing. Curious to know what you think with an S4 and this motor. You know, let me know in the comments. But I got to get it back in the garage. It's getting wet, dewy out here. Look at it on the hood. So got to get it back in and get these tires cleaned up. That's all I got for you guys. If you guys like the video, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to click subscribe. Peace.